Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The scenic backdrop you see here is this. Aha! Yeah, that's right. We're back in Space Engineers. Um, so the thing about this is, that explains why that handle is there. So I've done some thinking, and I've got to say that the progress of the games is the progress of this game is not coming along the way I would like it to. I should be in DirectX 11. So sadly, I have come to the decision that I'm going to have to scrap my my Outpost 603 idea for this game, based solely on the fact that the game is not going to be able to do what I want to do for the show. Does this thing even work still? Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. It has no top and bottom thrusters. It does have side-to-side thrusters though. They made some changes to the game that actually added mass to the storage containers. So anyway, yeah, the original idea for the show will live on. It's going to continue. I'm just going to convert it into a book and run with it like that. It's going to be best for sort of everything, really, because in book form I can sort of do the work without having to worry about without having to worry about stuff like scheduling and getting a lot of extra people involved and time and the status of other things. So like right now I'm kind of waiting on the game and the developers to kind of do whatever it is they're going to be doing, so I can kind of get a gauge on what I have to work with. So yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and convert it into a book and write it in book form. I would still like to do it as a show at some point. And I'm not 100% certain, so I've decided I'm gonna do it as a book, but I'm not completely certain, what style of book. If I want to do it more like a play style, where, well, if you don't know what the play style of books, what a play style book is, well, then you're obviously not a avid enough reader to really care, I suppose. It basically boils down to all of the Shakespearean works that people see, where it's 90% dialogue, or it appears to be 90% dialogue. That's basically what a playstyle book is. I'm not very good at that style. It's not something that I frequently do. I have tried my hand at it, and, well, to say it did not bode well would be an understatement. But it actually did not bode well. So I don't really know, because like I said, my main goal is I would like to do it as a show, and if I can write the book good enough to actually, eventually turn it into a show, then there's aspects of it that sort of can't be done. So there's stuff that you can do in a book that you can't do in a show. And I mean, I'm not just talking like, you know, physicality stuff. I'm talking like there are certain limitations that a show has that a book does not. And there are certain limitations that a book has that a show doesn't. You know, so I'm not 100% certain as far as all of that goes exactly what I'm going to be doing. But like I said, I've just kind of come to the conclusion that the game is not progressing. I mean, I guess the best way to put it would be it's not progressing in a manner that would be congruent enough for me to be able to do a show. Not a real sort of role-playing show based off the game. And the main reason I wanted to use the game anyway was because it would help me cut down on like stuff like animation and all that, because I can't do any animation, and as it stands right now there's only like, well, me, you know. So like, until I can get some help with it, you know, don't wrong, like if I had an opportunity to do it as like a comic book, I would, because that would be slightly easier. And I've already got the story plots pointed out, as always, and then it's just a case of figuring out the small details. And that's usually how I work, is I know all the big plots, I know all the big points, I know everything that's going to happen, all the major stuff. It's the small stuff in between that I will easily, quickly, and repeatedly overlook. Why? I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's just kind of how I am. So, yeah, so the main thing is I just wanted to make this video kind of to let anybody who may have been interested in the idea know that I will be converting it into a book. I'll do another video, like, if I actually do get a chance. So I'm probably going to start on it today, because I really don't have anything else to do today. So we'll get started on the basic outlines of it. And I don't do outlines, I don't do storyboards, I don't do all the normal writing stuff that, you know, everybody's like, you must do this in order to be, you know, if you're going to write anything, you have to do it like this. So as a person who has taken it upon himself to start writing, let me tell you one thing, and one thing important. It doesn't matter what you do so long as you enjoy the writing aspect. That's important. If you don't like the writing aspect of it, then you're never going to write anything. How you write it, if you're the lay everything out and pinpoint everything person, or if you're like me and you just go dive straight into the deep end, so long as you like it, so long as you enjoy the work and you like doing what you're doing, then to tell you the truth, it doesn't matter what other people say you have to do. Just do it the way you want to do it. You know, like my main book right now is not progressing at a rate that I would like, but there are valid reasons why. I work better alone, and I'm never alone, is the kind of the best way to put it. But even still, I've never once given up on it. Now, it did take me a while to actually get to that point, because first it was like I had to find something I was actually going to enjoy writing first before I could do anything else. And I actually enjoy writing it. I mean, I enjoy thinking about it. I mean, the small details get me sometimes, but it's not as bad because I enjoyed the book in and of itself. So I can deal with the smaller minor annoyances that are cropping up in the book. As for the ones that are cropping up in life that are hindering my efforts, well, those I sadly just have to deal with. I mean, I can't get any help on that. And it's small stuff. I have a YouTube channel, yes. That's not really that big of a deal. I can record all of my stuff during the week. I can get everything posted. I can record stuff on the weekend. You know, getting content from my YouTube channel out is not a problem. The problem boils down to me constantly being asked to do stuff at home when people know full well that I'm doing something else. And I mean, you could argue that, well, you know, they can't see you doing it, so maybe they don't fully know. No, they know because I tell them, hey, I'm recording. Hey, I'm working on my book. And they go out of their way to make sure to constantly interrupt me and break my concentration when I'm working on something, which is why I need to be by myself. You know, I said I know they do it on purpose because I specifically tell them stuff. And whether by, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but that's just kind of how families are, or at least that's how mine is anyway. Anything you're doing is less important than what I currently need you to do, which realistically is nothing, or something that, you know, you've told me how to do like 600 times. But because you're now doing something that doesn't involve me, this is now the most important thing ever, and you need to stop doing what you're doing, is kind of the way I see that. I have a very strange I would say strange family life, but that would suggest that I actually have some sort of a family life. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, the whole basic point of this video is just kind of let you guys know that what I'm going to be doing from now, for now at the very least, is I'm going to convert the Outpost 603 storyline into a book format, and hopefully, because it's not going to be nearly as big as my current book, because that whole series, because it is a huge series, spans somewhere around, rough numbers, and we are talking rough numbers here because it's probably going to be more than that, probably about 20 books. And I mean, we're not talking like 20 small books either. I mean, like, I'm on chapter 12 of my first book, which is not actually the first book. It's like, it's closer towards the end of the series, but because of the stuff that happens in the book, there's a lot of explanation that goes into it. So it's a lot of explanation, but there's a lot of stuff that happens as well. So there's a lot of, like, I guess you could say, action-y bits. And that's kind of the reason why I started with this book, was because of the action-y bits. Because the actual start of the series is a little bit dry and it's a little bit boring. So I mean, when you're starting a series, the last thing you want to do is start off on a boring note, because you're not going to have very many people interested when you actually do get to the good action stuff, right? Whereas at least if you start off with the action stuff, the people who really just want to be there for the action stuff know that you can write the action stuff and are more likely to come back for another book after finding out, okay, this first book is a little bit dry, maybe the next book will be a little bit better. You know, but I mean, I understand that it's a little bit dry because there's a lot of explanation that goes into it, and it literally starts at the dawn of time. So, I mean, what can I say? But, yeah, I said, the Outpost 603, at best, I might be able to stretch it out to 3 books, but most likely, I'll try and contain all of the subtleties and nuances into 1 book. There's mystery, there's intrigue, there's betrayal, there's, you know, romance, sort of. I don't really know how I want to play that one. Like, I have an idea, but I'm not 100% certain how I want that kind of to go. So I'm not 100% certain, like, exactly how everything is going to play out. I know the big details. So, I mean, I know how it all starts. I know how it ends. But it's like, I'm not really sure, like, kind of how to get... I mean, I'm sure how to get to those points. It's just, I'm not sure what the people are going to do in the interludes between those points, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, this is primarily just a video for announcing the fact that I am going to be converting this storyline into a book. I hope at some point in the near future to come back and make a show out of it for those people who may have been interested in seeing a show version of it. You know, seeing my sort of ideas for the show. Because, of course, in the book, I could describe to you that ship over there, but trying to describe that ship is going to be insanely complicated. So rather than describing a whole ship, I'll just leave it to your imagination and say that it's a large ship. You know, it's just a large ship adrift in space, or seemingly adrift in space. So that's basically all I really wanted. I apologize for doing all that welding, but I wanted something to do while I was talking and chit-chatting. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Hopefully I can get back to this at some point and actually do a full-on show, whether it's in this game or in some other format where I'm a lot more animation freedom, but of course it takes a lot more time. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me, guys. I am done for the day, and hopefully I'll see you guys again. And to that, I'm gonna say sayonara.